Well, we're here.
Here we are.
Yeah, we are now in a U-Haul. Just thought, what better way? A man who is leading a movement that has impacted so many in U-Haul move stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, this is a first for me. Yeah, I don't usually sit in U-Hauls.
And have conversations, especially in the back. Yeah. Well, I just I wanted to get with you and just talk. Just around creativity and glory, and obviously we have this whole creative set, but really you've been somebody that is personally impacted me, and I know you know that through our conversations, but have impacted so many. And I think even Bethel is such a creative movement, and but a lot of what I've been doing over this past year with the Creative Call and gathering creatives, there's just been a lot of questions that different people are asking, and I just thought, what better person to get insight and wisdom from when it comes to creativity and glory. And so I just have questions that I wanted to ask you.
Let's do it.
One of my first questions that I was like, okay, I definitely want to hear your thoughts on is, does creativity, how important is it in the church?
Well, it's huge because it's honest. If there's no creativity, then there's control, and we never become all that God intended us to be. Creativity done right is returning to being authentic and honest, and expressing this journey, this lifelong journey that we have walking with the Lord. It's essential, because without it, we are just simply duplicating what other people have already done, which isn't necessarily bad, but if it restricts who God made me to be, then that's not healthy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's creativity restores us to being authentic and keeps us honest.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, with that, has it ever, for you, obviously Bethel has been going for a long time, but a lot of what's been happening, I would say definitely as long as I've been here, and for a long time, longer than that, has been this global impact. And it's taken creativity, I think, to get to where we are.
Right.
But with that, how much courage has it taken for you when it comes to leading a movement that's impacting so many?
Well, yeah, obviously courage has to be a part. Yeah. Courage isn't needed if you don't take risk, but creativity requires risk.
Yeah.
And you learn from it. Sometimes you get it right, sometimes you don't. Sometimes sometimes you have to back up and clean up the mess or redirect, or but it's all a part of the journey. The people who resist risk also avoid accomplishment, avoid breakthrough, avoid the kind of extreme blessings and favor that God would release over us. They miss out on so much. So it's pretty significant. Courage is a significant part.
Yeah, and I think with that, like, a lot of people, I would say with creativity, can be afraid to take risks because it can be misinterpreted.
Yep.
So have you, what's been your journey when it comes to taking risk and doing something maybe that's new, but it being up for interpretation? Like, what goes through Bill's mind?
There's always risk, and as people, we value other people. And so I value how my decision affects you. I want to know that. So if I am being misunderstood, I want to know that, because I want to do better next time at communicating.
Yeah.
But what I don't want to do is kill what I'm carrying out of the fear of man.
Yeah.
I will refine what I'm carrying out of the love of people.
Oh, wow.
But not, I will try to word it in a certain way or express it in a certain way. I don't know, does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Where because of love, I'll make changes,
Yeah.
but not out of fear. I don't want to avoid risk because I fear people's opinions.
Wow.
That's significant. You can't be a good leader and live under the fear of man.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like, when it comes to creating something or trying something new, the vulnerability in that.
Yeah.
You definitely feel that as a creative.
Yeah, for sure.
Has it been like, you're surrounded by creatives and leading people that are very creative.
Yeah.
What is that like? Like just that, and knowing that, them bringing ideas and things that maybe sitting in a U-Haul having a conversation is very different, and it can get uncomfortable. Like, how do you lead people like that?
Well, it's an incredible honor because we have so much going on around here that I never would have thought of. If it all had to come through me, it would be pretty boring because I have a window where I function well. Outside of that, we have so many other areas where we have need, and we need other people that can think freely and liberally out of the values that we carry. That's what's important to me is values, is the principles that we live by. And once those things are established, then I want people to think creatively. But I want them to embrace the values that we live for.
Yeah.
And so that's the journey for me. So it's an incredible honor because we're doing things I never would have thought of. Never, ever, ever. And yet I look at them and I get so happy to see, that kind of authenticity and honesty being expressed the way it is and the fruit that it brings. It also means that we try some things that don't work. But I'm okay with that. I've tried to live that way for, where we just back up and go, let's try it again. We'll do it better next time.
Yeah.
But that's a part of it. But I love that. I love that journey. For me, this has been just the greatest honor of my life is to watch the creative people around me think of stuff that I never would have thought of.
Yeah. Did you ever think, and choosing to even say yes to being a pastor here at Bethel, that it would be the movement that it is today? Like, did you see it? Did you know the moment that was like, okay, this is, we got something?
There's been the prophetic word and promise over my life for a long time. But to be honest, I don't make plans or ambitions, goals based on any of that. All I try to do is to be faithful with what's in front of me. Like I don't think in terms of building a movement. You've heard me say a number of times, I really don't want to build a big ministry.
Yeah.
I just want to build big people. I just want to make sure that whoever God's given me a chance to influence, that they become all that God intended them to be. I want them to come into a place of personal significance, corporate significance. That's what I want. Yeah. And if it creates a movement, that's awesome.
Yeah.
If it doesn't and we're just here in Reading by ourselves, I'm happy with that too.
Yeah.
So I don't measure the success by the size. It's by the nature of influence that God gives us. That's, to me, where the success is.
Yeah. How do creatives and people that are building keep that in front of them? Because I think that's such a you feel this thing of like, oh, you see what's possible, and there's social media out there now, and you're seeing people. Yeah.
It's hard because what's hard is that we look for immediate evidence of success. And for me, what we're doing is we're building culture, and culture takes time. And this culture has a value for creativity. This culture has a value for living by principle. This culture has a value for living transparently and openly. And so it's actually a culture that we're building. Yeah. And creativity is a part of that culture, so it's part of the bigger picture. And it just takes time to build that. And so the problems that creatives have, or anyone else really, is that we like to see the immediate results. Like, can I measure the effect of what I've just done? Sometimes you can. Like if you write a song, you can see when people really step into that song and use that to express their heart to the Lord. sometimes you can measure it that way, but oftentimes it takes a while.
Yeah.
And you have to be okay with that. And the real enemy to measuring progress is comparison. You compare yourself to somebody else, your song to somebody else's song, your painting to somebody else's painting or whatever, and it's just not a healthy way to live, because it has us continually looking back, and we've got to look forward to stay creative.
Wow.
So we hopefully we're more creative today than we were 20 years ago. I was thinking creatively 20 years ago, 28 years ago when I came. We were trying new things, but hopefully we're better at it now than we were. And we've learned a few things, how to do things better. Wow. So that's all a part of the journey. Is excellence. Excellence. A 5-year-old that paints a painting with excellence is going to be different than a 35-year-old that paints a painting with excellence. Wow. It's going to improve. The point is, and that's who we are too. I write books. There's not one book I wouldn't do differently if I had it to do over again. It doesn't mean I did it wrong.
That's good to hear.
I did it the best I could for the season I was in.
Yeah.
But when I look through this stuff and I go, oh man, I could have added that, or I should have phrased this differently or whatever. Yeah. So that's life. So you just suck it up and get used to the fact that we are all in process, and you have to be okay with that. Yeah.
I mean, that's good to hear, because I think it takes off some of that pressure that we can put on ourselves to make it. I mean, even this whole idea, I was like, okay, I want it, we got a blue backdrop. I wanted the whole thing blue. I'm like, well, that's going to be a little impossible. You got a lot of things to work with. And so
they probably don't want you painting the inside of their truck. So
exactly. But it is that, you're trying to figure out removing the pressure of controlling the outcome. Yeah. But
and part of the problem is a lot of creatives are perfectionists. And perfectionism is religion. Excellence is kingdom. And so we've got to make some adjustments in what we value. Because perfectionism is cruel, because you never get there. But excellence, you can be finished with something, where the Lord himself created, and at the end he says it was good. Wow. And then when he made man, he said it was really good. Wow. And so there's the ability in Christ to look at something and say, I really did my best, and this is excellence. 10 years from now, hopefully my excellence level will be higher. Yeah. But for where I'm at today, this was it. Yeah. And there's a certain liberty in being able to do that. But perfectionism is a cruel taskmaster. Oh, wow. And so that's something we have to get over.
Yeah. And how can I know, if I'm operating in the spirit of excellence? Like, what are some indicators?
You've done your best, and you're happy with what you've done. Perfectionism, you're never happy. You have a token joy for completing a project, but it's not. There's never quite the satisfaction. Yeah. Wow. And it's important that we are satisfied with what we've done. It really is. He says, hope deferred makes the heart sick, but desire realized is a tree of life. So in other words, fulfillment, personal fulfillment, is what feeds us. Wow. Yeah, he says, in that day you'll ask in my name, and whatever you ask, the Father will give you, that your joy may be full. So in other words, fulfillment, answers to prayer, fulfillment of dreams, fulfillment of ambitions or assignments is to bring fullness of joy. So part of the way we're wired is to receive strength and encouragement from what we've produced. Wow. And if I'm not happy with what I've produced, then I'm going to miss out on the spiritual nutrients of that experience, because I cut myself off. I criticize my own work, complain about my own process. I just am not as good as I used to be, or whatever. Yeah. And we end up undermining the very thing that God's working in us.
Wow. It
got to be careful.
Yeah, I was going to say, it almost steals the grace to actually do something, energy to put into a project or an idea.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. Has that ever happened to you? that sense of putting in a lot of energy in something that just doesn't have grace, or maybe, moments that you've gotten off in
Oh yeah,
creating
goodness, yes.
something?
I wish I didn't know what I was talking about. Yeah. I mean, that's how we learn, is we swing too far this way, too far that way, and we finally learn that place of just personal fulfillment.
Yeah.
Fulfillment that doesn't lead to independence or pride. That's what we want. We don't want independence. We got to remain in a place of trust. And pride, we don't want to take credit for what he's done through us.
Wow.
We want to receive the blessing from what we've done out of obedience, out of surrender. There's a certain benefit that we have that we carry, and so we want to receive that.
Wow.
Yeah, without doing self-criticism and shame and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard you talk about how shame, like the relationship between shame and creativity, and how shame can undermine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Share a little bit.
Yeah, shame just works to destroy everything that we are and do, and I mean, there are people who create out of pain. It's not that you can't. Some of the great books and things that have been written by somebody who just went through crisis and tragedy, and they write the journey. And it's not that a negative experience can't inspire you to do something. It's just it's better to do what you do out of a place of health and healing. So we want to come to a place of personal fulfillment and then produce. But shame is one of those. It's like perfectionism. It's a horrible taskmaster.
Yeah. I want to ask just around the topic of glory, manifest presence of Jesus.
I have I was just with a friend of mine this last week who is a billionaire, and he has a prayer room in his office, and he spends minimum of 2 hours a day in there, just in the presence, in the glory, and that's where he creates. It's where God shows him what to do, what not to do. It's in that place of glory. The glory is the manifested presence of Jesus. It's not something relegated to a season of your life or to a Moses or a David or a Paul. It's for all of us to live in that place of recognized presence of God. And to see people like this friend of mine who actually all he wants is to build the kingdom. That's all he wants. And the slightest decision, he looks to just that manifest presence of the Lord for what do I do in this situation or that. And he's got crazy amount of responsibility. So I don't want to go any further than that. Don't want to uncover him, but he's a real hero in that sense, that he really, really sets aside time to spend just in that glory, in that presence. And the insights, it's just beautiful. I walked into that room and I went, "Oh, this is amazing." There was such a presence, in there. You could tell he dedicated that place just to the Lord, and you could feel walking in. It's glorious. So, but that's the same. That's possible for all of us. We don't need to be a wealthy person with a private office. It's just this way we do our life, as we focus on hosting His presence, and that glory that rests upon us really becomes the place where we learn to think freely. See, where the Spirit of the Lord is, or where the Holy Spirit demonstrates the Lordship of Jesus, liberty is the evidence. What does liberty look like? That's where you become creative. You're free.
Wow. Yeah, I've never heard it like that.
Yeah, it's the Lordship of Jesus. It's a liberating lifestyle. It's not confining. All commands that confine us are to keep us from disaster. They're not punishment. He refines so we can be successful where it matters.
Wow.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Yeah. That's just so good. I'm so grateful to have this conversation with you.
Oh, goodness, I'm glad too. I'm so proud of you, and all that you are and do is just so fun to watch.
Thank you.
And even though we're in a U-Haul van. I love it. Yeah. Just don't have them start driving while I'm sitting in here. That's all.
Someone asked me, they was like, will you be driving? I said, there's no way that would happen. Thanks so much. I have one more question.
Okay, all right.
It is, I won't say the most important question, but what is your favorite color?
Ooh, it's that color in between purple and blue.
Okay.
That's my favorite. It's right in the middle in there.
Yeah.
It's not just a deep blue. It's got just that hint of purple in it. I love it. Yeah. Love it.
I love it. Yeah. It's amazing.
Okay. That's it. All right. Well, that was the most important question I could tell.
Yeah.
I love it.
Good. I think we're good.
All right. Cool.
Yeah. And right at 11:30. So
been an honor.
Yeah.
As always. Thanks for what you're doing. Yeah. Love it. Yeah.
Really excited. So
super. That's all, folks. All right. Bless you. Just love you too. Thanks. It's on the schedule. Thanks.